prosecutors have, according to some reports, filed charges last week against an American woman on suspicion of killing Shanquella Robinson, another American there on vacation. Now, Shanquella's father spoke with Court TV about his daughter and what her friend said happened on that trip. Take a listen.
She was real. She was a people person, loving and caring, cared about folks. Never did look down on nobody, Only thing she wanted to do is just enjoy life. She's a very smart, intelligent young lady. Friend just told her mom, that they came back with the luggage and her phone. She came back and sit down there in her sister's house and ate food and, sit there and just told them that big lie that it was alcohol poison, and which I knew it wasn't. I deep down in my heart, because I know how I raised her. I mean, we're not perfect at all. She wasn't no perfect child. I mean, she drunk a little, but alcohol poison? Nah. We all did that when we was coming up a little bit, just experiencing things. But still at the same time, she knew herself. And I knew her. I know that's my daughter by just how I raised her. And I know for a fact she's too smart and too intelligent to put herself in that kind of situation like that, man.
The whole thing's a real tragedy. The charges come after a video of Robinson being beaten went viral. Now, we want to warn you that the video is difficult to watch. It's a terrible beating. Prosecutors have yet to name the suspect in Robinson's death. Robinson had reportedly been staying with friends at a luxury development in the Baja resort town of San Jose del Cabo. Her friends initially told police and her family that Robinson died of alcohol poisoning, but this video and an anonymous call made to the victim's mother disputing that claim raised suspicions. Now, the FBI has opened an investigation into the case as well, and it's unclear whether American authorities will bring any charges in that case. All right, still with me in studio, criminal defense attorneys Jack Rice, Josh Schiffer. So much going on here. Apparently, Mexican authorities are trying to talk with American authorities about extraditing this person back there. But to me, it's a sad day when Mexican authorities are pulling charges on Americans, and we haven't done so yet. What's going on there? Do you think Americans will and should put charges on some of these people involved?
Yes. Yes, I do. In fact, I mean, it's encouraging that the Mexican government is actually looking at this and investigating it. We've seen so many of these in the past.
Surprising.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, shocking, really. Right. Because we've seen it so many times where they simply ignore it because of this underlying economic question where Mexico is trying to encourage people to come down. Sure. The fact that they're investigating it, looking at potentially extradition, that's astounding, frankly. But I think that the United States, they themselves certainly could be looking at charges based upon these six coming together to create this storyline that says she dies from alcohol poisoning when it's absolutely clear that that was not the case. And by the way, those lies were told to the family on American soil. Yes. And that is a very big deal. And that could drive the U.S. government, certainly local authorities, to do something. And I think that's what they're talking about and pushing federally, statewide, and how we drive these six, or maybe one of the six, to belly up on the other five.
Yeah, no question about it. And Josh, there's a well-established law that if a crime is committed against two Americans, one American against another in Mexico, you can bring them here with charges. Not an issue there.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of options on the table. I'm not clutching my pearls and screaming yet because of the time involved, as long as Mexico makes the right choices and moves this forward. I understand the beginning of the investigation was totally botched, but now it appears that someone at the right salary level in the Mexican law enforcement system has picked this up, and they're going to do their job rather than just ignoring it, which I thought was a decision rife with the worst kind of politics out there. But at the same time, America has our ability to bring charges, which I would demand on behalf of that family if Mexico fails to prosecute what to us looks like a pretty straightforward, horrible crime.
Yeah, but would we want to leave that, Jack, in the hands of Mexico?
Well, generally we wouldn't, but at the same time, what I think is interesting is that when you realize the media piece of this, where this has gone viral as it has, we talked about how Mexico doesn't want this to impact tourism, impact the economy. What happens when the entire country of the United States, and maybe Canada as well, will see this and say, I'm not going to Mexico. You're going to go to Mexico? All of a sudden, it becomes an economic question on the other side. And that may be driving them. But you know what? This doesn't mean that you can't work on the criminal side in Mexico and in the U.S. at the same time, and then actually collectively make a decision on how to play this. There is that capability.
And these resorts are worldwide. This is just one issue. In Mexico, I have a beautiful Scottish friend that just went to one out in the middle of the Canaries. If you're in Southeast Asia, these same types of resorts, it is a billions and billions of dollar industry. This kind of incident can literally destroy countless amounts of wealth.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, there's charges that can be put on all those friends, right? Because you certainly have the lying aspect of it, but then also on the video you see two people beating her up. She's naked, and then you have a guy who is taking the video saying, "At least fight back." And I got 10 seconds. What do you got?
Well, you could bring more charges. We've talked about that all day, including the wrongful sharing of revenge pornography. There's so many different options on the table to pursue justice.
And those are state cases, not even federal.
Right, and at the end of the day, I would think federal charges would be the way to go.
Probably
Most smooth.
All right, gentlemen, stand by. Just